Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be unboxing the Kamvas 16 third generation. This was sent to me by Huion to try out, and this has now become my absolute favorite drawing tablet, and I will show you guys why in this video. I will also be doing some digital watercolor sketches, try to achieve that look finally. But before we can get to that, let's unbox this and see what we have inside. First thing we have is this color calibration report, in case you guys like to do that for your screens. I usually don't. I usually just work with how they are shipped, but if you do need it, it's there. And then we have the gorgeous tablet itself. It's hard to pick up on camera. My camera keeps on unfocusing because the screen diffuses light so well that the camera translates it as being far. I will talk more about how much I love the form factor on this one later on in the video. Another thing we also have is a stand, just like we have on the 16 Pro. And it's very similar to that one, and I will do a comparison later on too. And then we have the drawing glove that I always need to get into my digital art mood. The pencil, also very similar to the 16 Pro. Talk about the differences in performance between the two of them, but form factor wise they're almost identical. Also have the same donut holder for both of them, and the difference, one of the main difference, is this one holds only the black nibs, and the Pro version has the white felt tip nibs, which I kind of miss because I really liked that one, but I will talk about how I like the black nib for this particular screen on this tablet later too. Next we have the cables, of course, so we can connect it to our computer. Also some extra ones if your computer needs an extra power source. One of the main things that I love about this one, because I'm a very simple person, I love that this only requires one cable for me. Of course, it's going to be different depending on the computer system you use, but for me, it's just one Type-C to Type-C cable, and I just love the simplicity of that. They also included some power bricks right there if you need them. Other than that, that's really it for this box. Just all the stuff we need. All the stuff we need is there. They actually gave me an extra power cable, but they're identical. So now I'm going to be using this to do some digital watercolor sketches. I like to do these two sketches on new tablets because it helps me get a feel for the screen especially. That's one of the most important things to me, because if it doesn't feel good, I just don't end up using it that much, no matter how good the actual tablet is supposed to be and its performance. If it doesn't feel good when I'm drawing, I just don't end up using it. So I am very happy to report that I do love how the screen feels, and especially the relationship between the pen and the screen, and I will talk about why just in a bit, because the first thing that I want to talk about is my actual favorite thing about the tablet, and it's these buttons and the dials on the side. I talked before about how much I love the dials on my remote that came with my XP pen tablet. This one feels identical to it, and I almost thought that the remote came with the Huion because they both felt almost identical. So I really love that they have it here and it's on the actual tablet, and there's two of them, so I can use one to adjust the size of my brushes and the other one to adjust the zoom on my tablet area, on my working area. It's just so convenient, and one of those things that I didn't think I needed, but now that I have it, I don't think I would want to use a tablet that doesn't have these dials on them. So I really love that. And outside of that, there's 6 extra buttons that you can use if you have a lot of commands that you use very often. I really just use 3 of them because my digital artworks end up being simple in comparison to other digital artworks, I would say. So I just have undo for the lowest one, redo for the next one, and then I have a color picker for the middle one. Outside of those, I don't even use them. I just have them for the bottom buttons because that's where my hand usually sits and it's the most accessible buttons to me. So that's my favorite thing about this tablet. The next one is almost a cosmetic thing. I love this screen, and I'm not just talking about the resolution yet or how the color translates yet. I'm just talking about the screen by itself, not about its performance. I wanted to bring out how well it diffuses the light because does it better than any other screens that I have. It's better than any of the matte screen protectors I put on my iPad to diffuse the light. It also has this weird thing where it repels the oils on my hand really well. Sometimes it almost feels like it's cleaning itself. It's so cool. I don't know how it does that. I expected this to be a fingerprint magnet because it's smooth, but it really isn't. It just has this look to it that feels very premium to me. Another thing that I love, and it's still in the form factor of the tablet, is the dimensions on it, the aspect ratio. It's in the landscape format, but it's not as wide as the Pro version. And that one, I kind of felt that it's maybe a little bit too wide, almost feels flimsy. And that has nothing to do with how the tablet was built. It's just that when something gets long enough, it just feels off balance that way. And I sort of felt that with the older one. This one keeps the wider aspect ratio, but it doesn't feel too wide. It just sits balanced on the stand. And I really like that I have enough room to have my arm in there when I'm working of and just have enough of the other controls I need for Clip Studio on the other side without really getting into my workspace. So the last thing that I really like is that it keeps the rounded corners, but the edges of the tablet are not round. So the other one is rounded, and I think it's supposed to give it a sleeker design, and it does have that. But this one feels more premium because it's not as sharp. That one almost felt sharp and not as comfortable on the hand. I really prefer the build quality of this one. I also even like that it's plastic because it's softer in the hand, and I think it keeps it lighter as well, only by a little bit though. So those are the main things that for me make this tablet special. Outside of that, it still has the other things that I love from the Pro version, like the amazing colors. I actually think that the 16 Pro is supposed to have a better color accuracy. It's not something that I notice, but some of you might. It still has that amazing screen resolution. I even like watching movies here versus my other secondary monitor. Another thing that I love that is the same here is that parallax is almost undetectable. It feels very similar to my iPad in that it feels like I'm just drawing on the screen. If there is even a distance between my pen and the actual surface I'm working on, I don't notice it. This feels really beautiful that way. This other one could be a program thing, but I think the response time between the pen and the tablet has improved. It's not something that I would notice all the time in the 16 Pro, but usually when I use a bigger size for my brushes, I notice that there's a little bit of a lag between my pen and my screen, and that's the only time that I notice it when the brushes are big. I think it might also be a program thing. I use Clip Studio, so it might be that. Now I don't notice it at all. I tried to get it with this one, That's why you see me use bigger brushes for the watercolor part of these sketches, but I didn't notice it at all. I was really surprised by that. The next thing I want to talk about is the pen, because this one is one of the few things that is supposed to be better than the Pro version. And I will say that it also goes both ways, where the color accuracy is supposed to be better on the Pro. I didn't notice it that much. And the pen pressure levels are supposed to be better on this one. That one I didn't notice as much too. And maybe that has something to do with me not really doing digital art as much as I do traditional art. But lately I've been doing a lot more digital sketches than my traditional ones. So I think I would notice it now better than I would before. But when it comes to the pen, I didn't really notice much of a difference between the pressure levels. It's still really good, I would say that. But it also is just as light as the old one, which is one of the only critiques that I had. I wish that the pen was a little bit more hefty, and that's just a personal preference. I know some people who would actually like it this way. I do want to talk about the nibs on the pen though. So this one doesn't have the soft felt tip nibs on the old one, and I was scared that I might not like it because I preferred to use the felt nib on the Pro. But maybe it's something to do with the screen, because the surface of the screen is different from the Pro too. That I actually like the interaction between the black nib and this screen. And I even tried using the felt nib from the Pro pen, and I ended up not liking it as much. So even though we're technically missing those nibs on this one, I actually would still prefer this pen over the older one. The stand is pretty simple. It has multiple levels you can adjust it to. Very similar to the one that came in the 16 Pro, but both of them just serve their purpose, not really anything fancy, but it does its job really well. So this review is not going to be very long. I have talked about what I love the most about this tablet, and I will also be linking any other specifics that you might need to know in the description. But other than that, that's really it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I said before, this is now my favorite drawing tablet. The only reason I would use my iPad over this is because I do still need a computer for this one. It's a drawing tablet, and my iPad is a standalone. Other than that, I like using this one more, and I also get to use Clip Studio on this one. You can technically also use Clip Studio on my iPad, but it's a pretty heavy drawing program, so I prefer to just use it here on my tablet and with my computer. I hope you guys enjoyed this process video in the background. Really love the look that I ended up with this. I think that my practice with digital art has been paying off, and I've finally been getting the kind of look that I want for my digital sketches on here. So thank you, Huion, for sending me this tablet. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to like the video and leave a comment. If you tried any other drawing tablets, I want to know what you guys love about it and which ones you guys prefer. I want to talk more about digital art now too, especially from traditional artists like me. I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on digital art. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons for supporting me, and I will be seeing you guys again soon.